Welcome to Risk Forever channel, guys. To the channel which shares the most relevant tips and tricks on how to win at Risk and improve your rank in no time. Subscribe to the channel and you won't even see how fast you will become so much better at Risk. Push that notification bell to see new videos first. This is your host ChampionEver. And today we are playing 4-player fixed card game on classic Risk map. Settings: alliances off, 60 seconds per turn, and balanced blitz dice rolls. This time I'm playing against 3 beginner rank players who are yellow, blue and green. So 1 Grandmaster versus 3 beginners. That's an interesting combination. I really hope that the beginners aren't going to team up to bring the Grandmaster, who is me, down. How do you think, guys, who is going to win this game? As always, wish me best of luck, guys. I will definitely need it playing with beginner rank players. Let's hope that none of them is going to suicide on me. Well, who knows? All what I need to do is to believe that they aren't in a bad mood today. Anyways, as you saw, since I was the first player to start the game, I had an ability to choose which continent I will go for. Usually I go for the continent in which I have the most troops in. And this time I even had an ability to choose between 2 continents, South America and Australia. And since I'm playing with beginners, I decided to go for Australia. Usually beginners tend to be aggressive and attack you into continent any opportunity they get to. Well, unless you make an alliance with them. But the thing is, that this game is with the alliances disabled. So the safest choice for me was to go for Australia. Australia has only 1 border to guard to, so nobody is going to invade it. It's pretty much isolated continent, so I shouldn't worry about getting attacked at all. But on the other hand, I won't be really able to expand to become stronger. I doubt anyone would let me hold Asia in case I capture it, and from other continents I'm pretty much blocked. So Australian turtle strategy, here I come, I guess. I could have finished capturing Australia in the same exact turn. But since the blue player showed that he wants to pull his troops out from it, I gave it another turn and made the way for the blue player by removing my troops I had in Siam. In that case nobody will lose any extra troops. Plus remember, guys, the diplomacy is another part of the game, and I think the blue player is really going to appreciate the fact that I let him pull his troops out. Even though that doesn't mean a lot at all, but step by step I can get more and more trust by him. To gain his favor. In fixed card game, a good strategy can be to pretend to be everyone's friend and avoid making enemies at any cost. Let them fight and destroy each other, while you safely building up troops into your continents. And this is the strategy I'm going to use. I will turtle in Australia watching the world burn and doing absolutely nothing. Well, I will attack someone if needed to sustain the balance of the game, if any of my opponents will start getting too strong. But currently I have nothing better to do, but just to hoard my troops. And wait, guys, do you want to say that the yellow player has left the game? The game has just started, lol. He missed his whole last turn and now he is missing his current turn again. Yeah, guys, it seems he just became a bot. And that couldn't be better for me, guys. And not only because it is very easy to beat computer opponents, but mainly because blue and green players already don't like each other, at least I would guess so, as the green player attacked blue into Africa in the beginning of the game. Any other attack haven't happened yet, but I can totally see that they don't trust each other by adding more and more troops to each other borders, in Brazil and North Africa territories. Well, it seems the tension between them currently has decreased for a little bit, as the blue player just added the troops he received to strengthen his other borders as well as the North Africa one, and it seems the green player is going for Europe. So they are busy with their own plans and kinda leaving each other alone. But for how long though? If the green player actually captures Europe, then I don't think that the blue player will let him hold it. The blue player will invade Europe. The green player will get mad and attack blue into Africa, and then the blue player will get mad as well and finally attack green into South America. They will become the biggest enemies and the war between them will be officially started. They will keep destroying each other until they realize that I have more troops than both of them combined. so they will stop attacking each other, but then it will be way too late, as I will swipe both of them out and deal with the yellow bot easily. This is a scenario I would like to see happening. But how actually everything turns out to be, only the gods of risk know. May the luck be on my side today, guys. And OMG guys, the yellow bot just attacked the green player into his continent, lol. My plan has worked out. As you saw, I added some troops to Kamchatka territory over here, to prevent the yellow bot of going to Asia. I don't want that the yellow bot would start capturing territories and bringing most of his troops near to me. I would rather have him blocked in North America, so he will be forced to attack either to South America or Europe, and the same time be a struggle for the green player. So the green player will either have to abandon one of these continents or constantly keep attacking the yellow bot, as if he won't, then the bot will get stronger and stronger, building troops next to one of green borders and eventually invade him. As I'm planning to build my army in Kamchatka territory big, I won't let the bot to go in Asia for sure. And very nice guys, I really like the fact that the blue player invaded green into Europe. I'm really glad I didn't have to do that by myself. I would really like to hope that the green player will want to retaliate and attack the blue into his continent as well. And wow, the blue player attacked the green player into Europe again, this time even capturing some of the extra territories. It should really irritate the green player. Well, he shouldn't get mad, as he must understand that we cannot let him hold both of these continents. But you know, beginners guys, sometimes they get really mad, and go kamikaze on you. So let's see if the green player is one of these type of players as well. And lol, the yellow bot strikes again, lol. Poor, very poor player called green. He cannot even hold South America. Probably it was a mistake for him to expand to another continent, which is Europe, while not even having enough troops to properly defend his main continent, which is South America. In the result, he ended up with no having a continent at all. And wow guys, the blue player seems to be aggressive, he just captured many territories of mine. I need to recapture some of them, as I don't want that he would start getting extra troops for having many territories. But I also need to keep my army in Kamchatka big, I don't want that it would be crushed by the bot. The bot keeps adding more and more troops to Alaska territory. I could potentially swipe my 20 troops army out soon, especially if he will get a set. My plan is to do everything that as many troops of the bot would be used against my opponents and none of them against me. I want that the bot would keep using this troops to attack the green player and potentially even blue later on in the game. Well, the blue player is attacking the yellow bot and wasting his troops on him by himself, lol. It couldn't be better for me guys. You should never attack the bot, and instead of it, you should pay all of your attention to the real players first. As it's not that hard to beat bots even if they have much more troops than you, well, unless you're really weak. But if you're not that weak, then it shouldn't be a struggle dealing with them at all. Anyways, as you can see, I move my 20 troops army from the bot back, as I hope that he will use that 17 troops army to recapture the territories the blue player took from him and will fortify that army to any other border. I move my army because if you have your big army next to bot's big army, sometimes bots stop using that army and doesn't attack with it at all. But since he still did not use that army, and since the blue player didn't make a way for that army by not attacking Alberta territory this time, I decided to put my army back to Kamchatka and continue blocking yellow's way to Asia. As I really want to have some extra territories which will be giving me some extra troops each turn. And who knows, I might even be able to capture Asia later on, in case the blue and green players will have a bigger conflict, destroying each other a little bit too much. So yeah, who knows, you can never know what can happen. In any case, I want that the yellow computer player would stay blocked from Asia and stayed in North America, so neither green or blue would be able to capture the continent, and since the way to Asia is blocked, the bot is going to expand to Europe, and more or less prevent anyone of capturing it. As you remember guys, the green player was really having some plans to hold it, and the blue player could capture it as well, in case the green player decides to move his troops out from it. And by the way, for those who aren't familiar with my channel yet, my name is ChampionEver. and in this channel I'm sharing relevant risk global domination tips and tricks that will help you to increase your rank in no time. I upload my videos constantly. I try to make them short and informative but also entertaining at the same time. I'm currently Grandmaster and have over 1,000 hours of experience which I want to share with you. Most people want to know how to win at Risk. Are you one of them? If so, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe and start grinding those rank points right now. Drastically improve your gameplay by simply watching Risk videos. Anyways, as you can see, the blue player isn't letting me to hold many territories to get extra troops, or maybe he even afraid that I could capture Asia very soon as well. So whenever I take these extra territories in Asia, he keeps recapturing them over and over again. So how about if I completely block his accessibility to them? Sounds like a plan. And here we are. Ha! In your face, blue. I'm wondering, what are you going to do right now? Now nobody will be stopping me from getting one extra troop, guys. Lol, it was really worth the fight, lol. But anyway, now I will be getting the same number of troops as blue, as you know that Africa gives one troop more than Australia, so I had to capture some territories to make it even. Well, anyways, I'm looking forward to capture one territory more, so instead of one extra troop, I will be getting even 2 extra troops, having 15 territories in total. Well, I wouldn't care too much about getting 1 or 2 extra troops, but the thing is, if I won't, then the blue player will, and then he could potentially have a plan to go for Europe later on soon. And in case the blue player captures it, I don't know if the green player would fight him, so I don't want to be weaker than the blue player is, in case I will need to attack him. Well, the minus of this strategy I'm currently using is that it looking for the blue player that I'm going for Asia, so he might get very triggered and potentially swipe out some of my armies, and this is why I'm trying to have my army in Afghanistan bigger than the army the blue player has in Middle East. Is it a good plan or bad? I currently don't know. So we will see about that. Maybe because I'm building this army bigger and bigger, the blue player will get irritated even more, and he might pull out the army he has in East Africa to make his Middle East army even bigger. Or maybe he pull his Middle East army back and actually let me hold Asia. Who knows? Everything can happen, lol. It would be a very good scenario for me if the blue player would actually let me capture and hold Asia. So I hope he will get scared of me and let me get Asia for real. But as I said, I'm not really looking to get Asia. My aim is just to prevent the blue player of getting Europe and at the same time getting some extra troops. I will be pulling these armies in Australia back as soon as the green player will be able to capture North America, so then I will not have to worry about the blue player getting Europe, as both of my opponents will be balancing each other. And then probably they will eventually start fighting each other, most likely destroying themselves way too much, so then I will put my big army, which will be combined from my Asian armies, out of Australia, and swipe both of them out in a single turn. At least this is what I'm looking to happen, and I hope it will. Well, at least it was looking that the green player will eventually get Asia, every single turn swiping some of the yellow bot troops, but it seems he moved his troops back from North America again and let the bot capture it. And that is actually still good, because the bot will get strong and either attack the yellow player into South America again, or be expanding to Europe and being some of the struggle for the blue player. And in case the yellow bot eventually capture Europe having many troops, then I will let the bot hold it so he could potentially invade the blue player into Africa. And wow guys, the green player out his army into Ukraine, and that means that India is the last territory I can capture, and in case the blue player won't recapture, then I won't have any territories to attack to, if I don't want to attack one of my opponent's bigger armies. Well, let's hope the green player put that army over here unconsciously and move his army somewhere else in the next turn. And OMG guys, that is so nice, the yellow bot invaded green. That is so awesome to watch the bot crushing my opponents, lol. The green player's plan of letting the bot getting North America again, drastically backfired him. And look guys, it seems the green player got really angry. And lol, I cannot believe he attacked yellow's biggest army, Lol. Even though he had successfully blitzed that army, he would still have been taken out being so weak. He basically succeeded on the yellow bot. Beginners are so crazy sometimes, lol. He probably didn't even know that yellow was actually taken over the computer player. But lol, the green player got really triggered by the bot, lol. I cannot stop laughing, guys. I had no idea the game would go in that way. I didn't expect that happening at all. Well, anyways, I really like the fact the blue player didn't take the green player out even though he easily could. And even though green only had one card, that's enough for me to be able to trade in a set and reset the timer by 30 seconds, and be able to capture some extra territories, getting territorial advantage over blue. Well, actually I decided not to use the additional time as I wanted that the most of the blue player's armies would stay blocked. As look guys, he has his both armies of 27 troops each blocked. And I would really like to hope that he won't be smart enough to fortify them from the blocked place out. I would prefer if he kept them in Africa. I don't really care too much of him getting 3 extra troops of holding it. But wow guys, finally I've got the game with a decent endgame when both of the players have the same chances to win. Finally neither someone succeeded on me nor succeeded on other opponent to let me easily win. Well, the green player succeeded on the yellow bot, but you probably understand that I'm trying to say. And look guys, my plan has worked out. Firstly, I specially didn't guard South America and let the blue player invade it, so he would capture these territories in North America and become blocked from South America. Well, technically he could fortify his army to North Africa and invade South America easily, but will he actually do that? Anyways, I realized I made a mistake over here capturing some extra territories in Europe and unblocking blue players' armies. So instead of pulling that 14 troops army somewhere else back, I decided to strengthen that army instead, by fortifying additional 11 troops in it. Hoping that the blue player will use his biggest army to blitz it to get the best possible blitz roll. As you know guys, with the bigger army you attack, the better odds to get a decent blitz roll. And my plan has worked out again. He used his biggest army to take these troops down, blocking his other armies, lol. Well, unfortunately this time he realized he must capture as many territories as possible to prevent me of getting some extra troops. So I had to recapture them, and also in the end of the turn fortifying some troops to Iceland to prepare for my potentially winning plan. I didn't really care about South America getting invaded at all because I'm about to do something that will drastically increase my advantage. I'm about to capture and hold both of the Americas. Since the blue player isn't smart to fortify his blocked armies out of Africa, he will be having a hard time of getting invaded them. I decided to fortify some of the troops from Australia to Brazil to strengthen South America, as the blue player added some of the troops to South America border and was about to invade it. Unfortunately the blue player had a set and invaded both of the Americas, but it was fine for me, since South America was saved of getting taken over by the blue player. It would have been totally bad for me in case he had gotten to hold not only Africa but additionally South America as well. Anyways, as expected the blue player has kept all of his armies blocked. And it was a really losing move. As nobody is going to stop me now from winning. I will be having a lot of advantage by getting many troops while holding not only both of the Americas but Australia as well. I don't know how he didn't realize that he definitely had to move his blocked armies from Africa out. Also sometimes he wasn't even capturing as many territories as possible, and that let me get some additional advantage against him as well. In overall, he has a lot of room for improvement to improve his endgame, and I really hope he will improve. So anyways, as you can see the blue realized that he just lost the game and didn't have another choice but just to give up. So yeah, I just show you the way on how to play the endgame with a not very experienced player. Of course, when there were only 2 of us left I could have started blitzing his armies, as attacker has an advantage in especially when it comes to balanced blitz, but still I wouldn't have been guaranteed to get good ones, so I decided not to risk and play the endgame safely, as I saw how the blue player had almost all of his armies blocked and wasn't even going to unblock them, most of his attention paying to Africa, which didn't really give much of the advantage at all, as we saw. So yeah, if you want to improve your gameplay and become better fast, then I would recommend checking out some of my other videos as well. You can play hundreds of games, but if you don't really know what you should do, then your growth can be very slow, if any. So to speed it up, I would recommend you checking out my fixed card or any other playlist, and even if you saw almost all of my videos, then it's still always good to rewatch them and remember all of the basics. As you might have forgotten something already, or maybe didn't fully assimilate the information back then,